What's raging, gamers? Good morning. Morgan? What the heck is that?
Morning?
That was a tongue twister. It's been a hell of a morning. Let's just put it that way. But let's restart this. What's raging, gamers? Good morning. Welcome to Rage Quit Video Game Talk Show. How you doing, HenricK the Wreck?
You know what? As always, I'm doing amazing, and that was a great start to everything. Put a smile
I know,
on
right?
my face.
All the tongue twisters. What is this, Cat in the Hat? And we're not even reading a book or anything like that. That's hilarious. But hey, we always like to start off this show with some great goofy content that's been circulating all across the globe. And I know a lot of us sports fans like myself are super excited that the 78th season of the NBA is starting today. And to celebrate that feature, all of us wish that we could ball out on the court, right, HenricK? I mean, I'm close to 6'5", I wish I had that attribute to, to be, the Devin Bookers of the world or the Kevin Durant's. Are you good at ball?
I mean, you're up there. I was surprised, actually, how tall you were when I finally saw you. As you could see, I'm not that tall. I have had fun playing basketball, but I can't say I'm, great at it.
So you need some of that ooze or the goo of that flubber and put it on the bottom of your shoes, and then you're gonna be flying like Mike.
Exactly. There you go.
But a lot of us always dream to have that presentation called for you when it's your time, and one individual wanted to live to that milestone that the greats like Michael Jordan had, which is being in the Hall of Fame. But this guy took it to a whole new level.
Make it to the league, let alone the Hall of Fame. And it's a crazy, wild being here, man.
Yeah.
All right. Right from the top.
That man's so excited, HenricK.
Yeah, I mean, he's like, oh, get the camera. I gotta film this, and then film me filming this.
Yeah, right, exactly. Well, people had a field day on this because they felt like whoever was on the end of recording him is a hater. So the first comment that we got was, unemployment has its ups and downs.
Oh.
So when the income starts slacking, they're gonna go back to that video. It took a lot of work to get to that point. Yeah, I understand. It's understandable. You lose your my player at the end of it, because every year, you gotta restart, baby. Third comment was, bro put Drake in the Hall of Fame.
That's foul.
Yeah, well, maybe Drake's excited. He never reached that milestone. And last, we can't have shit without haters. Congrats on making bro, and leave him alone. This is a big moment for the man. And I know you're not much of a NBA, watcher, HenricK, but, I think you kind of have an understanding of the lay of the land. Is there anybody that you would like to throw out there as who you think is going to, hold up that trophy at the end of the season?
Maybe I'd have to go for some big names like Kevin Durant or something.
Oh, so you're thinking the Phoenix Suns, the whole newly established. The new big three. All right. I think that's an excellent choice. Sadly, I think I could easily see the Denver Nuggets repeating it back. Oh, it's so sad. As much as I'm a Los Angeles Laker fan, it hurts me to say that. But, we all want to celebrate those awesome wins. And, not all the time we see, our baby boomer parents jump into, online gaming and, all the kids, you got to grab the cell phones immediately when your pops goes absolutely wild when he gets his first solo win in Fortnite. You're going to love this, fam.
How many kills did you get, Shane?
Shane! Shane, record my thing! Let's go! Another squad, baby! Let's go! Look, hey, look at this. Look at my, hey, you gotta look how I blew this guy up. Get the clip.
Get the clip.
Yeah, this is a family event at that point. It's just a wholesome family event. Everyone's invited, obviously. And the dad is very proud of this moment. You got to be happy for him.
I think more dads need to be playing Fortnite. Why discourage?
Yeah.
So then we can actually make them feel good in life, right? Well, the first comment that we got was, "You gotta look at how I blew this guy up." Oh wait, that's me.
Oh wait, that's you.
The second person wrote, "I need this happiness. Dropping Apex, picking up Fortnite." This man asked for his clip. He getting ready to post it to Facebook. At last, who's going to tell him those were bots? Hey, you're a hater. That's a hater moment. Come on, man.
Let him be happy. Come on.
Yeah, let the man live, okay? Not all of us can get Fortnite solo wins after all. But HenricK, I know you're gonna love this, man. You're huge in the modding community, and people obviously have field day when it comes to Starfield because Bethesda could use some work on the game. We understand that. It is going to be a Game of the Year contender. But one modder took it to a completely new level, really getting people excited for potentially what could come for, let's say, a Star Wars game. So they implemented Star Wars into Starfield, and I'm telling you right now, fam, it is so freaking cool. Are we now willing to play it?
Yeah, they had to put in that Wilhelm scream at one point.
I like how Thomas the Tank Engine is still being celebrated throughout the Bethesda, modding community. I like how they just made that what, a planet? What is that? A shooting star? I have no freaking idea. But the first comment that we got,
it looks pretty cool though. It reminds me of how there's that new Star Wars game that's in development. I think it's called Outcast or something, right?
Outlaws.
That's what it is.
Yeah, it's gonna be a good one. But hey, PR Gaming giving a huge shout out to Thomas the Tank Engine for some reason. Wow, now it's at least a halfway decent game. Oh, that's harsh. That's harsh. I mean, I kind of set the tone like that too. Modders carrying Bethesda since always. And last, bro might actually be a little slow. Oh, I kind of jumped on a comment. That wasn't supposed to be that. That's for the next video that we're about to showcase because Spider-Man 2 did numbers right out the gate when it first launched, and it became the fastest selling PlayStation Studios game in history, which is remarkable. They sold over 2.5 million copies in 24 hours. Isn't that an incredible milestone, HenricK?
Oh, absolutely. That's actually a milestone that some games never even reach.
Exactly. And so
let alone in such a short amount of time.
And I understand it's like what people say about box office sales. That doesn't necessarily cater towards making them the #1 contender for the Game of the Year. But, some people have been loving the combat play, and then others can't quite seem to figure it out. And so streamer Flight, you might have heard of him. He's been playing Spider-Man, and he's been having a rough outing. I mean, just a hint. Just read what's on screen.
Yo, hold on, bro. Hold on. My arms, bro. Holy fuck. Bro. Why? Who put this in here, bro? This is a whole workout. Because you gotta, balance the left analog stick, whereas... Oh my gosh. Hold on, bro. It's only because I worked out earlier, that's why. Holy...
Oh my god.
I know.
I'll, to give him some credit, reading is hard. Whenever I play games with my friends, at least one of us just fails to read whatever's important, and we just suffer as a result of that.
You can't be slipping up like that, HenricK. Well, people had a field day on this video because, after all, it's hilarious. And so the first comment that we got here is, bro might actually be a little slow. Yeah, it did feel that way for sure. Second comment was, if you told Flight to press R3, he'd press R1 and R2. And
hey,
last,
1 + 2 is 3, right?
Yeah, I mean, I guess we're being fair to him and just pull down. He had a moment like Mitch McConnell. I think it's time to retire from playing gaming. I guess when you're streaming. But hey, you know, that is what's been circulating across the globe this week. But we got a jam-packed show for everybody that's tuning into Rage Quit Video Game Talk Show. And while you're here, you might as well hit the like and subscribe button so you never miss a live show. And HenricK the Wreck, are you ready to rock and roll, my man?
Oh, you know I am. I'm ready to rage.
Hey, let's get it, fam. Let's do it.
Let's do it.
Hey everyone, this is Pause or Repeat. Here we figure out whether a game is really worth your time and money. Today's game is Lies of P. Lies of P is a Souls-like game that takes the old Italian tale of Pinocchio and gives it a macabre twist that many Souls-like games are known for. So don't expect a lighthearted adventure like Disney's adaptation. With that being said, let's first take a look at the gameplay. The gameplay of Lies of P is going to be familiar to those who have played the likes of From Software's Bloodborne and Dark Souls. The gameplay consists of fending off various enemies and bosses throughout the storyline and using weapons and abilities along the way. Lies of P takes so many cues from Software's games that even the interface is similar. But that ends up being a strength, because the gameplay is refined enough already by those games. All this game has to do as a result is keep the player engaged with the combat. Between the crafting system for changing up your weapons to the bosses, this game does a good job of keeping you on your toes and wanting to experiment with what works best. The difficulty may spike up at times, but that is to be expected from this genre of game. But you might be wondering how the story is. As was stated before, this game is based loosely on the story of Pinocchio. You are playing as Pinocchio himself, a puppet made by Geppetto. Geppetto is known as an inventor that has ushered in a new era of automation. Using his puppet inventions, the city of Krat starts to implement puppets into workplaces and homes. However, an event called the Puppet Frenzy causes the puppets to turn violent, murdering their owners. To make matters worse, those who didn't die were now also subject to the petrification disease, a disease spread by the energy source of the puppets. Finally, a mysterious blue butterfly that goes by the name of Sophia gives life to Pinocchio, subsequently also giving him free will, something the other automatons did not have. From there, you are sent to stop the automatons and bring back order to the chaos in the city of Krat. Along the way, you are given choices to tell the truth or lie, and your choices will determine the ending that you are given. But now the question still stands. Pause or repeat?
Alright, the Bloodborne PC port looks amazing. I mean, sorry, the...
You would start it off like that. You know, it's funny that you thought that, because I thought the same thing. Bloodborne and Dark Souls.
Yeah, no, I mean, it's actually really uncanny how similar it is looking to Bloodborne. I mean, I've never gotten the chance to play Bloodborne because it's a PlayStation exclusive that has never come to PC, and I would like to play it on PC at some point, but you know, this is as close as I can get pretty much. And you know, regardless of it copying Bloodborne, you could say it actually does a really good job of copying it and trying to replicate a From Software game. And I'd say it actually even implements some things that a game like Bloodborne could actually benefit from. Things like that crafting system where you can take handles or the actual weapon part of a weapon and put them together and make something brand new to even experiment with. Like, that actually makes this game really fun to just hop in, say, hey, I want to try putting a chainsaw blade on my my rapier, you know, and see if anything happens from that. And I had a great time playing it as a result of that. I would say, you know, I don't know how it is compared to Bloodborne. I'm sure, you know, pretty similar in terms of
you're not
gameplay.
missing out. You're not missing out.
Yeah,
Everybody,
exactly.
I can't stand Dark Souls and Bloodborne games. I'm sorry. I'm just one of those kind of guys. So I'm going to just say it right out of the way. This is a definite pause for me. I'm not a big fan of these kind of style of games. I think like when you play these frustrating combat mechanics, these unbalanced battles, and I hate the dodge mechanics that come with these kind of style of games. They're frustrating, but the dialogue and cutscenes are so intriguing because when you turn a classic children's stories into adult video games, yeah, you're going to be enticed to want to play it. So that's the real major knock that I have, you know. why do people like playing these style of games? I never understood it. I mean, do you really want your blood boiling? If you want your blood boiling, you're gonna be playing Lies of P.
Chris, you know what's coming right now. You know
Okay.
what to say.
Okay.
It's just a skill issue.
Okay, it's just a skill issue. I understand. But like some of us don't have time to delve into all the nonsense. I mean, it seems like you progress pretty well like in the beginning, but then like as you take a turn into the second half of the game, the difficulty spikes massively to the point where you're just gonna walk away. I mean, this is like Callisto Protocol all over again. It doesn't even matter when you play on like an easy difficulty. It makes it so frustrating. It's not supposed to feel like a 9-to-5 job. It's not. Like, that's what makes me so, like, I really wanted to like this game. We talked about it as, like, being one of those anticipated games of the month, and then when it finally dropped, finally got the hands on it, and it's just like, I know some people are going to be hating me for it. I don't really care. It's my opinion after all, right? But it might be for you. The story is enticing. You will definitely like those dark elements, because after all, the story of Pinocchio was not really originally meant to be a children's tale, obviously, because Disney, really kind of twisted things up over the years. But, if you want to kind of revisit that kind of old school era-esque, maybe this game's for you, but I don't got the time for it, HenricK.
That's fair, because it is a challenge, these kind of games. They're always challenging in one way or the other. Elden Ring is really like the easiest one out of these to really jump into. At least, the consensus is that, I would say.
Yeah.
But I don't know if it's necessarily, you're going into this as like a masochistic adventure. You're kind of going into these kind of games because you want a challenge. At least the gamers that are playing these games, they want that challenge. They want something more difficult than your bog standard game, where the normal setting is kind of just like a porous mode, and then the hard setting is just a little bit harder than that. Like, these games, they don't have a
little hard
slider. I mean, these games, they don't have a difficulty slider, so like you get what you get, and you have no opportunity to even put it into any like game journalist mode or anything like that, where it's a tourist mode. So you have to overcome the challenges. You have to get better at the game to progress. And when the story's good, like in this one, the story ends up being a bit of like a reward for your effort. Like you put in,
I guess that's a good point. I think that's an excellent point that you're making. I will give you that. That's an excellent point that you're referencing. It does feel rewarding. Like, once you finally get past some of those excruciating moments, you're like, finally, I get the moment we've been waiting for, the cutscene.
Exactly.
But yeah, go for it, HenricK.
I was just gonna say, I think it's really cool what they're doing. I'm not gonna spoil the ending, but I'm excited to see what they do with a different game coming up, because it looks like they're kind of trying to work on something.
Yeah, a lot of people have been kind of referencing like possibly like an Alice in Wonderland, but haven't we already done that like too many times? Like, I think we can find another children's tale that we can, really bring to this world.
There are other children's tales or supposed children's tales, and they kind of build up towards a different one, not Alice in Wonderland. So we'll see.
Hey, maybe they might touch a William Shakespeare play. Who knows? And maybe twist it up. Hamlet gone wrong. I have no idea. But there's no knock on this. But like, didn't you kind of feel like it would have been kind of cool if there was some like online mechanics in the game?
That could be kind of cool, because I know that a lot of the From Software games have been doing that recently. Like we just reviewed Armored Core pretty recently, and that one has an online PvP mode. I think that I'm okay with it not having an online component, because it really is crafted as a single player experience. And I don't want it to be a situation where they just throw in a multiplayer mode because they feel they need to hit that requirement of a multiplayer mode in their game. And then it feels a little half baked, and it's like, I could have done without that.
Yeah.
That's my opinion on that.
Oh, yeah, it's totally true. But, I mean, people heard from me, like, right at the top of Pause and Repeat. We haven't heard from you as of yet, HenricK the Wreck. How you vibing with Lies of P?
For me, personally, it is a definite repeat. I recommend it to people who enjoy this kind of game because I think, like I said, it actually fixes some things that the From Software formula hasn't done yet. And I think that if you are already familiar with this style of game, you're gonna have a good time.
That's a good point. So, hey, we're split here, fam, but we want to know from you, gamers. Let us know if HenricK is outlandish, and, you know, your boy Chris Collins just knows how to tell it straight to the people. You let us know what's good, gamers.
Let us know if maybe it's just a skill issue again.
That is totally, absolutely correct. I know. It's okay to admit when you suck at gaming. That's being a gamer.
I will admit when I suck at a game too. You know, I'm not the greatest at every game.
Right, exactly. But hey, listen, gamers, we got so much more left here on Rage Quit Video Game Talk Show. So, HenricK, you ready to rock and roll and keep this locomotive rolling?
Oh, you know I am. Let's get it. Let's go. Let's go.
Oh, let's get it, fam. Let's get it. What's good, gamers? Welcome to Patch Notes, where my co-host HenricK and I discuss gaming news, industry talk, and so much more. Let's get it. Twitch will now let its creators simultaneously stream across any live streaming service, the company announced at this year's Twitchcon. With this announcement, it didn't stop Twitchcon, though, from kicking out those with, like, prominent streamer Adin Ross after entering the venue with Kick Apparel. So why are you okay with simultaneously streaming, but then somebody that's wearing a Kick Apparel gets kicked out? Well, hey, if you haven't seen the video, let's go ahead and check it out.
Can you tell me what I did? Just don't touch me, real.
No, hey, let's go. We don't need to do shit. Come on. We're out of here, bro.
We're gonna leave, because they got cops there, bro. I'm not gonna let you get.
We can talk to them, bro. You got pulled
Can you just tell me what I did? That's all I want to know what I did.
Twitch code of conduct.
What is it, though? I'm just curious. What's the code of conduct?
You will have to figure that out.
But you can't tell me.
No. Figure it out. You guys have violated.
I'm just curious what I did, though. That's all I want to know what I did. You said there's a bunch of TOS.
Well, you violated Twitch code of conduct.
Which is what, though?
And
it's in the name. They're wearing a shirt that says kick. They're, of course, going to kick it out.
And literally got kicked out of the venue. That's funny, HenricK. Because I know, obviously, Adin Ross got in a lot of trouble for using a lot of racial slurs. He just recently did it again with Chief Keef up on stage. He was streaming on Kick, and he was saying the N-word. Clearly, that man ain't a person of color. But, you know, it's not okay. But, you know, also at the same time, if you're going to be celebrating the new feature of, like, you're going to be able to simultaneously stream on all platforms, people that weren't associated with Adin Ross that were wearing Kick Apparel at TwitchCon were kicked out. And then some of them were indefinitely banned, which is crazy. And this news comes on the heels of Twitch bleeding big name talent. Kick recently signed massively popular streamer and co-owner of FaZe Clan, Nick Merckx, in a one-year contract worth $10 million, according to a Forbes report, including this summer, Kick offered XQC $100 million in deals. And let's go ahead and showcase the comments here live on screen. And the first comment that we got is, bro wore a Kick shirt to TwitchCon. Of course he gonna get kicked. That's HenricK's face. Deserved. Streamers, be a normal, decent person. Be a scumbag. Does seem like every streamer's becoming a scumbag recently. I don't know what's up with that. Everybody's loosey-goosey.
It's the impossible challenge, you know?
Yeah, I don't know what's up with all that. He's just trolling and seeking attention. Just get out and leave like they asked you to, like an adult would do. Adin made their platform, and now they're jealous Kick is taking over. Yeah, that's kind of a good point. Twitch, when you do literally anything, change team. And last, Twitch is so childish for this, not gonna lie. So, you know, HenricK, when I think about this, I mean, is Twitch becoming Vine? Are we seeing the fall of Rome happening right now?
Well, you know, people have been debating this for actually a few years at this point, because Twitch has constantly been implementing policy changes and more ads and mid-roll ads on top of that. So the viewers' experience is actually degrading over time. And it's actually, I believe, gotten to the point that if you are a Twitch partner, uh, you kind of don't have as much control over the ads as you would like. So what ends up happening is your viewers that are there for you end up watching multiple ads just to watch you. And it's like at that point, if I'm watching like 2 minutes of ads just to watch a clip of you live, I'm kind of I want to go somewhere else, like maybe YouTube and just watch some YouTube videos that you made instead. Because sure, I might miss out on some live moment that, will end up getting clipped later on, but that's the point. Anything that's of note that's live is going to most likely get clipped and put on YouTube later.
Right, and I know like Twitch is trying to appease streamers, and they have been kind of having a fallout. It's not just Kick that's been signing people. YouTube grabbed Valkyrie, for example, and Twitch has changed its revenue share split from 70-30 in favor for the streamers to be a 50-50 split. It still hasn't stopped Kick from signing all these crazy lucrative deals, which we discussed previously in the past shows. Kick has been created by a company called Stake.com. That's why they have so much money. They're in the online betting world. So you can only imagine, the sports books won massively when it came to the NFL weekend. So, I mean, I'm sure they got a lot of money to dispel out to a lot of mid-grade to a lot of high-end streamers. But there's also another clip that was pretty great. We got to show it. Twitch CEO Dan Clancy spoke with multiple outlets, expressing his excitement for those streamers making lucrative deals with Kick. But when he was confronted on a live stream via Kick, man, the attitude totally changed.
Kick, thoughts?
Uh-oh. Hey, that's your choice, Whatever you decide.
It's kind of funny to see that reaction. And I, as we were getting ready for this show, I kept wondering, do Gen Z and Gen Alpha view Twitch the same way millennials view Facebook?
That might actually be something that's developing because Twitch is the longest out of the big ones that are going around right now. I mean, YouTube's been around longer than Twitch has, but YouTube hasn't been doing live stream as long as Twitch has. So it could definitely be a case of, they're looking at it as like the old grandpa in the room.
Yeah, I mean, especially when, it just feels like Amaranth, like recently left as well. When you got what feels like the top 10 streamers leaving Twitch to go and join another platform, or even remember Ninja, dispelled out. Remember he tried to do his own thing with Microsoft. Why am I having a brain fart on that failed stream? Someone's going to reference it to
Mixer.
us. Mixer, that's correct. Yeah. Everybody's been kind of trying to dabble with different outlets, and I know one of the biggest frustrations for a lot of major streamers is like, we want to reach out, we want to get more fans, new audiences. So originally they allowed you to simultaneously stream to TikTok and Instagram, but now they're claiming all. But if they want to change the attitude of streamers and they want to kind of convince people like myself to, support Twitch. I mean, right now we're streaming on Twitch, but this is such a crazy, outlandish move. It's not a good look considering that, I don't know about you, HenricK, but I've heard nothing but terrible things about TwitchCon this year. A lot of the comments that you scroll down the feed of X/Twitter, you're going to see so much negativity. People are going, gosh, this is cringy. This is being missed out. Or you're just seeing people getting kicked out because they're wearing certain merch gear that doesn't align with the venue. How stupid is that?
Yeah, I mean, the things that are trending about TwitchCon this year are definitely the negative things. I've seen plenty of good things as well from
what's
the creators that I follow.
Oh, the creators. Okay, I was going to say, I was like, at the TwitchCon?
Yeah.
I'm like, what are the...
No, yeah,
I mean, the only thing that I saw was my good friend Erica Harlacker. She had a moment on stage where, like, someone proposed, while she was, like, in character, and I was like, okay, cool. But, like, other than that, but, like, this is TwitchCon. We're supposed to be celebrating content creators and fans getting together.
I do have to say, all the positive things I've seen from the creators have been, it was such a great time to see other creators and hang out with fans. And it's like, at that point, it was just a meetup. Like
Yeah.
the actual convention had nothing to do with you having a great time. It was the people that were there
So
more
true,
than anything
man.
else.
It's so true. But hey, you guys let us know. Like, is Twitch falling off? Is Kick going to be the future of streaming? We'll have to see what's good. But hey, HenricK, what's going on? Because I know there's been some pretty wacky PR stunts in the last week. So break it down for all of us.
Yeah, there has definitely been some interesting moves from the marketing departments, but hey, maybe this is the move for them to get the attention of people. But so one day after Xbox took over the Las Vegas Sphere, which is that big advertisement space that they have in Las Vegas, PlayStation decided to show up and close it out by taking a look at Peter Parker and Miles Morales as Spider-Man, including Venom, followed by a shot of the cover art for Spider-Man.
But wasn't it kind of funny though to see that like they did this one day after Xbox just put their massive logo on it, and then they totally one up them with this like really cool video? We have a short clip of it to give you guys an idea about what the Vegas Sphere ad was for Spider-Man 2.
So imagine seeing that. That is eye-catching, to say the least. And according to pitch deck for the venue, or a pitch deck for the venue, one day of advertising on that Las Vegas Sphere costs roughly $450,000. So
that's a lot of money.
Big investment to get that up there.
But you have that video forever, though, and they're going to be continuously pushing that,
Yeah. Yeah, and Sony actually didn't stop there either for their Spider-Man 2 campaign. Over in Sydney, across the pond, they decided to put on a live display surrounded by NPC cops and a truck being hung by Spider-Man's webs. And I believe, also have a clip for that if we want to show that, to show the viewers, kind of get an idea what we're talking about.
Spider guy.
They're pulling out all the stops.
Oh, I didn't mean to cut you off right there, but I thought it was illegal to impersonate a cop. You see that, and I was like, okay, I thought it was cool, different, right?
Yeah. I mean, it's something. It's a spectacle. Definitely eye-catching, just like the Las Vegas Sphere, in a different scale, obviously, because it's more intimate. You're not trying to broadcast to the entire city. But it was still a cool display that they put up, and it's something different, at least, because not that many companies have tried this sort of thing, I'd say. But it doesn't stop there, because if you thought that was like weird or crazy, just check out what Diablo 4 did, because Diablo 4 is selling a game PC infused with human blood, real human blood.
Yeah, you heard HenricK correctly. Infused with real human blood. They got a promo out, and let's go ahead and take a look.
Every day, hundreds of defenseless mortals are drained of their blood in the name of Lord Zir. Together, we can make it thousands. With just a few minutes of your meaningless mortal life, you can contribute to Lord Zir's eternal reign. In return, you may receive mercy from his wrath in the Scourge Upon Sanctuary, in-game rewards, and this cute little sticker. Visit www.diablobloodharvest.com.
I had to do a double take when I read that for the first time. I was like, real human blood?
Yeah, it doesn't sound real, right? I mean, we've heard music artists like inject their blood into like, the LPs, but why would someone actually want this? Like, that can't actually be good.
Exactly. Like, human blood, after a while, it starts to smell like death, actually.
That's a good point. It's going to be real stinky in there. It's going to bring gnats, and I don't know about where people have been living across the world, but here in Southern California, we got a lot of ankle biters, and the last thing I need is some like icky ooey goo smell or whatever attracting more gnats in my life, because they're aliens after all. Bugs are aliens. If they're going to be festering and pestering you, that's a definition to me as an alien. Okay, but moving on.
Yeah, you better hope that this PC, because it's liquid cooled, never actually leaks for you, because you're going to have a messy time at that point.
Oh, that's a good point, HenricK. And I know Blizzard is raffling the gaming PC as part of a community-wide blood drive. They're seeking 666 quartz by next month, which would require standard 1-pint donations from 1,332 players, assuming no repeat entries. And there is a in-game reward for those who participate. So Diablo, at Diablo on X says, these in-game rewards will be unlocked for all players as we progress towards our donation goal. Once we receive 666 quarts of blood from willing sacrifices, we'll unlock a sweepstakes to win a blood-infused cooling computer. So as you can see, 33%, 66%, and 100% of the way. All gamers, even if you didn't donate blood, you will receive this. So I guess that was kind of cool. And as HenricK the Wreck and I do with Rage Quit Video Game Talk Show, we squandered the internet and we wanted to hear from you gamers about these wonky but maybe cool advertising moves. And the very first one that we got here was beautiful. Dom the Bomb thinks it's beautiful. He loved that Vegas sphere. He thought that was so freaking badass. Second one that we got is, can you imagine being high as a kite after a night out and waking up to see Venom through your hotel window? I'd lose it. Yeah, I cannot wait to see that in person. That is so freaking cool. This has to be one of Mysterio's tricks again. Very clever. Very, very clever. I thought that was really cool.
It would definitely be in character for him.
Exactly. Okay, but low-key, who wants a liquid PC infused with actual human blood? I get the theme and the rewards are cool, but seriously? More blood for us. That's a smart campaign. Blood is always needed, and donating right at a clinic cuts out potentially shady organizations, which in some countries sell it to hospitals at a premium. And last, I mean, the human blood thing sounds cool, but there's no way that that'll last very long or even get through customs, considering blood is considered a biohazard. It'd make more sense to just put a bunch of red dye in the coolant to make it look like blood. Yeah, I guess that's kind of a cool point, right?
Yeah. I mean, maybe if you live in California, since their headquarters are in Irvine, Blizzard's, maybe you can just drive down and pick it up yourself.
Hey, but not everybody lives here. No, not everybody, it might be kind of difficult
true,
if you're across the pond. But, the more and more I think about a lot of these kind of like wonky PR stunts, it feels like Super Mario Bros. Wonders could have used something like this to the extent of Spider-Man 2. Like, because they kind of like fell off the radar. I know it was being celebrated for the moment, and then no one's really talking about it all over again. Like, why is that the case?
Yeah, no, definitely. I did notice that because it is another Mario game, and all the Mario games pretty much get some attention at least. But this one didn't get very much at all, especially because of all these other things going on. So kind of just like fell to the wayside, I feel like.
Yeah,
and that is a shame because I haven't played it yet, but everything I've seen of the game is that it's actually really fun. I mean, especially for a Mario game, it actually tries to change things up a bit.
Yeah, that's true. I mean, a lot of the early game reviews are saying this is like one of the better 2D adaptions for Super Mario's, and so it's kind of unfortunate to see that, because I'm sure it's a great game, and like myself, I haven't played it yet, but I bet it's a really, really good one. But if you thought the PR stunt stopped this week, we got one more for you. This was kind of funny. This happened about yesterday because NFL Sunday was going around, and so they were showcasing this promo after all the NFL events, and Call of Duty Modern Warfare 3 partnered with SoFi Stadium with the Los Angeles Rams. Where are my Steelers? took out the Los Angeles Rams. Gotta love it. But they decided to do a weird promo like, the movie creator did, but I don't know which one worked out better. You, the gamers, you let us know what's good. I just gotta say right on the top, HenricK, I don't know who came up with this dumbass idea. This is the stupidest idea I've ever seen in my life. I mean, there's no audio in the video. Like, what the hell? Is like a couple camera shakes? I mean, you could have thought this was The Walking Dead, or or the Fear of the Walking Dead. Like, it's stupid. Like, I wonder how much money they actually spent to like bring fake zombies around SoFi Stadium just to promote this, because it kind of fell under the radar for me. I saw this like late last night, and I was like, oh my gosh, we got to bring this into the mix. So as you can clearly see, gaming studios will do some of the weirdest things to try to gravitate our attention towards these video games. Did you see it working out? Did you like it? Were you vibing with it?
I mean, especially for that last one, they probably spent way too much money on that. And all their budget apparently didn't give them any budget for any actual music or anything in the background. So I couldn't tell whether it was for a Call of Duty game or for something else.
Yeah, it's so true. They could have easily just put the Call of Duty zombie music on top of it, and then people would have been totally loving it or maybe relating to it, but it just falls completely flat. But hey, PR stunts, they're pretty crazy in the year of 2023. But I said we move on to the next conversation, because we got some gaming insight for you in the industry, because game publishers are all fighting for control of the nearly $185 billion a year beast known as the video game industry. Publicly listed gaming companies are sitting on $45 billion pile of cash and cash equivalents, which is insane. We got a chart here for everybody just to kind of spell out what the hell is going on. So the video game player base continues to increase, with the worldwide player base of 3.381 million today, according to Convoy. So you see some of these major names like Activision, Nintendo, Electronic Arts, Namco, Next Gen. The list goes on and on and on. I mean, it's incredible to see that they got $45 billion in cash, but then you look at the tech companies with gaming divisions having over $229 billion. That's insane. And as we're looking at, tech companies, and we do see, we don't see it there, but because obviously they're not a tech company, but, Disney has been kind of, there's reports out there that they've been kind of dabbling about the concept of potentially getting a new IP. But before we even kind of jump into that, HenricK, will we see new IP be released, or will the bidding war continue with AAA studios buying out studio companies?
I could definitely see it being that a lot of these companies are going to start to buy studios. Like, I know that Apple really is wanting to get into the gaming space right now. So they're the company that I'm keeping my eye on currently, because I can definitely imagine that right now, as we speak, they are in talks to acquire some studios so that they can actually get games on their platform, because they haven't really been known as a gaming platform for a long time at this point, and they need that. They really need games to come to their platform, and the easiest way to do that, especially for a company like Apple that has so much money, is for them to just acquire them. Like, okay, well, you don't want to make a game for our platform? We're going to buy you, so you have to make a game for our platform.
Yeah, exactly. And they're trying to showcase that to these AA and AAA gaming studio companies, to be like, hey, listen, look, we're releasing our first prototype iPhone 15 Pro. Yeah, there's been a few bugs, like every phone that first drops, on the first couple of weeks to come. But Disney also has kind of been, discussed in the mix with Apple because, CEO Bob Iger is reportedly being urged to consider turning the company into, quote, a gaming giant, with executives looking for a bolder transformation from gaming licensee to gaming giant through an acquisition of a major publisher like Electronic Arts. Remember 10 years ago, they had LucasArts. They decided to move on from that. They allowed EA and Ubisoft to dabble with making Star Wars games. And some people would say, they haven't always been perfect. But the company, HenricK, may be the first media company to lose $1 billion of first-party assets in history. So some people feel like they need to make a change now. They got shows like Echo, right? They got the new Marvel movie coming out on the horizon. By the way, it's supposed to be the shortest Marvel film to date, that's strange. And so, there's a lot of scratching the noggin about what the hell's going on with Disney.
Yeah, they're kind of in a weird spot, especially because of the spot that they're in right now with Marvel Studios, where I feel like the consensus right now is that unless you're a really, really diehard fan of the Marvel movies, you're probably not going to see every single one. And when a movie comes out for your favorite comic book character, all of a sudden you go to watch it and you realize you missed out because you didn't watch the TV series, you didn't watch the other TV series, you didn't watch the 2 movies, and now you got a soiled experience as a result of that for your favorite comic book character.
Yeah, but I just feel like it would be so beneficial for Disney to actually acquire, AAA studio companies, because it would really benefit to see some of their, The Mandalorian, for example. We joked at it at the top of the show with the modders bringing the Mandalorian into Starfield. That alone got me so excited. Could you imagine playing a Mandalorian game with Pedro Pascal voicing the character, and you get to play as him?
It'd be really cool, especially if they even just did something as simple as took the Jedi Fallen Order formula and then decided to put another character in it, like the Mandalorian instead.
Ahsoka,
that would be
that.
Yeah, exactly. That'd be really cool.
There's so much potential, but there's also a research group called Omida that estimates that cloud gaming, which HenricK is suggesting that they could potentially, Apple's going to get into the game, and Netflix, because we see Amazon and Microsoft doing their thing, including Nvidia, which is a computer manufacturing company, which is quite a trip. So cloud gaming is becoming more prevalent. But Omida says that the estimates that cloud gaming, such as Xbox Game Pass Ultimate and PlayStation Plus Premium, will generate $3.2 billion in 2023, making up just 2% of total consumer spending on games. That might not sound great, especially since a lot of people have been like, Chris, I've been hearing you've been saying cloud gaming is going to take over. It's going to take over. Yes, give it time, fam. They're in the early development. And Ubisoft CEO agrees with what I'm stating. He reckons that cloud gaming will see a Netflix-like rise in users over the next decade, and bets that Microsoft cloud deal will revive its fortunes. Do you see that happening, HenricK? I mean, we did showcase, some of those biggest tech firms out there: Amazon, Microsoft, Google, Apple, Meta, Netflix, China's Tencent, so, Japan's Sony. I mean, the possibilities are endless, I believe, with cloud gaming, but it can make, gaming more pricey, right?
It's true, but it really is going to take, probably close to 10 years for it to really get adoption from a widespread audience, because of the fact that you not only have to build out these services, but you have to build out the internet infrastructure worldwide and nationwide, especially in order to actually entice people to want to play games off of the internet and not off of their actual device, because there's always the worry of latency issues at that point.
Yeah. Very, very excellent point. So that is the gaming news industry report that we have going into the fall time. So yeah, it's quite a trip. There's a lot of money, and I believe there's going to be a lot of new IP coming out next year because of the unloaded cash that they have. But HenricK, I think it's kind of crazy how, we kind of discussed this a little bit during the summertime, but, You know, these auto manufacturing companies, they're really trying to get into the video game space with their cars. Break it down. What's going on?
Yeah, so I don't know about you, but I can't afford one of those really fancy like Teslas or BMWs or Mercedes. But regardless, we're going to talk about Mercedes today that actually is doing something in relation to gaming, where when you're in highway traffic going under 40 miles an hour, Mercedes has this new feature called Drive Pilot, which can take over operating the gas, brakes, and steering, help you move along with the flow of traffic without you even having to pay attention to the actual car doing everything for you, which is something interesting because even on a Tesla, you do have to hold the steering wheel periodically, even if you have the autopilot engaged. So they're saying you can take it a step further. You don't even have to look at the traffic in front of you. We got you, fam. But
or do they?
Or do they? Do you want to really trust that is the question. But Mercedes even supplies games at that point that you can play in the center touchscreen while your car is in traffic and driving itself. And we do have a video showcasing a bit of this to kind of give you a better idea.
For some reason, they don't have a video clip of like actually showcasing the video game as of yet, but I can't imagine it being any better than what the BMW introduced or what Tesla has with Steam. But we will give you a sense of what this new Drive Pilot system's like, and it's quite a trip, gamers.
Final big question about Mercedes Drive Pilot, how much is it going to cost? Well, right now it's only available on the EQS sedan and the S-Class sedan, which are basically Mercedes' two top-tier sedans. So they're going to be pretty expensive to start, but interestingly, there's actually no additional charge for the hardware that goes into these cars to make that happen. LiDAR sensors aren't cheap, but Mercedes-Benz is not charging anything extra for the hardware. But you will have to pay for the software to the tune of $2,500 for the first year.
Isn't that funny? You buy that. Oh, I didn't mean to cut you off real quick, but like,
no, I was just going to continue. But if you have something to say,
no, I just want to say real quick, how crazy is that to see that the hardware is already inside the car and they're not just going to give it to you? Go on, HenricK.
No, yeah, that's actually what Tesla does too. Like they give you the hardware. They already put it in the car, but for you to actually use the hardware, you have to pay them either monthly or yearly in order to actually unlock the access to it. And I believe from what I've read, it's kind of a way of them subsidizing the cost of the hardware so that, everyone pays the same amount for their car. And then the people who do want to pay for basically everyone at this point, by paying yearly, they're giving the company a little bit more money so that they can keep the cost of the car down a little bit lower as a baseline. At least that's what I heard as like the economics behind it. But when I look at that, I'm like, you know what? That doesn't make sense. If I pay for something in the car, I want to have access
I want
to it.
it.
Regardless.
Yeah, that's crazy. But for now,
they're only putting it in their highest end sedans. Their
their two most expensive sedan models.
Yeah, their S-Class and their EQS sedan, which the S-Class starts at $114,000 and $500,000, and the EQS starts at about $10,000 less than that. So,
just
pretty expensive cars.
Oh, it's crazy. But, like the guy said, right? You got to pay $2,500 for the first year to use Drive Pilot, and then you don't even know whether it's annual or monthly after the second year. That's kind of crazy, right? But we might as well jump into the comments, right? Might as well get into it. See what people had to say about this new Mercedes gaming car. The first comment that we got here is, so it doesn't work over 40 miles per hour, no lane changes, and disengages when it rains, all for $2,500 a year? Yeah, no thanks. You know what else is hands-free? Getting a bus or walking. Someone who can afford an S-Class can definitely afford to hire his own personal driver, too. People got great points.
That's a good point. Yeah, that is a great point.
I can't wait until there's a reliable level 5 autonomous driving vehicle. This one is an autonomous level 3. especially for teenagers and young adults under 25. Yeah, we might want to keep Gen Alpha off the road and Gen Z. And we got another comment here that says, I cannot wait for fully autonomous vehicles. I want to retire someday and see the USA, not having to drive or worry about other humans driving. And last, that is hilarious. Literally had to wait for a traffic jam on the freeway before he could use the system. Can't use it on any other roads. Can't use it at night. Can't use it when it's raining. Can't use it if there's no cars in front of you. And can't use it over 40 miles per hour. These conditions exist exactly 0% of my daily driving and almost 0% of my regular regional trips. Therefore, this system's worth exactly $0 to me. So, yeah, I mean, people were very vocal about it. I mean, yes, I do not have $114,000 to spend on a car unless someone wants to start sponsoring us right now. We're waiting for y'all. Come on now. Come on, fam. Rage Quit Video Game Talk Show. Mercedes, we're waiting for you. Come on. We got you, fam. But with like 9 out of 10 Gen Alphas considering themselves gamers, I mean, does this mean that 9 out of 10 drivers amongst their generation will not be operating vehicles?
I mean, it's possible, you know, if the future really is that they're going towards an automated car system, then yeah, no one who grows up in that future is going to know how to drive an actual car unless they learn it from someone. But if it's not a requirement to actually get places, then why would you ever learn?
Yeah, I guess public transport isn't really working out. I thought we invested all that money to try to get people to do that and get off the road, but now we have self-driving cars to ruin everything and block traffic down. Holy
No, exactly.
cow.
Like okay. Final note on this: I don't think that automated cars is really the solution. The solution is getting better public transit because you're fixing a problem that shouldn't exist in the first place.
I know. Could you imagine, with all these toll roads that are being built, and there's like a rumor like right here in Southern California that the 57 freeway might have a toll road. Oh my Lanta. If that's the case and you got a self-driving car in there, gosh, that is brutal, fam. It's totally insane. But you know what else is very, very brutal? Being totally thrashed apart for a video game that you only spent 1 year developing? Let me break it down to you, fam, because Skull Island Rise of Kong was released earlier this week and was quickly labeled as one of the worst games of 2023. You might be wondering, what in the world happened? Well, a new report from The Verge claims that the game was made by a small team of developers on a tight budget in just 1 year, putting the studio in a situation where making something good, both quickly and cheaply, would be nearly impossible. And if you haven't seen the gameplay trailer for Skull Island, Rise of the Kong, we got you, fam.
They somehow made a game that is worse than Gollum, which is insane. That is a feat in itself.
Well, maybe we need to see a new adaptation. King Kong versus Golem, the video game. And just mash both studio companies together. Maybe the whole gaming community will get behind it. Because, I mean, after all, I've seen some pretty wonky stuff that's been circulating, like a dinosaur game with samurai swords. I mean, the potential is there, right?
It is, yeah, the potential is.
Right? But developers from Iguana B, a small indie studio based in Santiago, Chile, spoke anonymously with The Verge and explained that Skull Island's publisher, Game Mill, gave the team only 1 year to develop the game from scratch, and the comments were active. The very first one that we got here is, I'm amazed they thought it was okay to make a King Kong game and scale the entire world so that he's smaller than everything. Yeah, I thought that was funny. It's like, how is there a crab bigger than King Kong?
Yeah.
We're witnessing the birth of a new genre here, folks. The Golem-like. What a time to be alive. The fact this game looks worse than the 2005 version is mind-blowing. I was out on the PS2, fam.
Yeah.
This would have been the perfect game to play after the original 1933 King Kong theatrical release.
Oh, it would have been amazing back then. Actually, you would probably have been accused of some scientific witchcraft or something.
The second one we got here is, how in the hell did this studio get their hands on such a huge property? We're all wondering the same thing.
Yeah.
And last, props to the developers for making cutscenes that rival the facial animations of Bethesda games. Man, people will never let that go. So as you can clearly see, crunch periods are a very real thing inside the video game industry. We kind of heard that a little bit when it came to the film industry as well, with the new Spider-Man 2 animation, where I guess there was a lot of crunch period. And for people that have no idea what crunch period is, essentially what it does is it's like they're making you work overtime. It's totally insane. And I know one anonymous developer said, quote, "The crunch was really set in motion in February for Skull Island Rise of the Kong, and I was on automatic pilot by the end of February because all hope was lost." And the wild part is, a 2019 survey from the International Game Developers Association reported that 40% of developers worked crunch time in the previous year for at least 20 extra hours above their standard 40-hour work week, with only 8% of those receiving additional compensation for those hours. And HenricK, just to kind of break it down, it's not just, double A or single A, whatever you want to call Iguana B, but, former artists have spoken out against Activision. They told the Jacobian that coworkers suffered a heart attack at his desk for these brutal crunch periods. There was also another story that broke out that people were vomiting in their trash cans at their desk because they didn't feel like they could miss, the crunch. And also they reported that a game developer once worked for a middle market AA company, which he didn't want to dispel because he felt like he was going to get busted because it's such a small core of people that work for this certain studio. But he said he once crunched 70 hours a week for a total of 6 months. And he said this, HenricK. He added, quote, "Nothing like those multi-year death marches that people at Naughty Dog or Blizzard would have to do." That's crazy. And
yeah, it definitely is something that happens at every scale of the industry, unfortunately. I mean, we see it constantly. It's not just this game, it's a lot of games, actually. Probably the majority of games that have come out this year, even the good ones, not even just the bad ones, the good ones as well, have had crunch time. And in the good ones case, yeah, sure, they did put out a good product, but really at what cost? Because now you got a bunch of workers that, maybe they feel rewarded at the end of it for having put out this game in a really good way, but they went through, honestly, hell to get to that point.
Yeah, hell and high waters, man. It's just insane to think that like these kind of conditions continue to be leaked out throughout the years, and potentially there might be a change. We do know that there's like 4 CEOs in the gaming industry that are moving on. You can think of Bobby from Activision, Peter Hines. I could think of John from Unity. The list goes on and on and on, where people are going to have new leadership. So potentially you start to get an age demographic that was raised being those graphic designers that, no knock on games from the 80s, but, games now are super, they're the high fidelity and the graphics are totally insane. So they really need to have someone in a position that can relate to those designers at that magnitude and potentially get their salary risen and also be respected for what they bring to all of us gamers, bringing these iconic games to us. And it's unfortunate.
Yeah,
I'm still so amazed.
They also, there has to be this culture change, I feel like, as well, a little bit, both from the game developers themselves, as well as the gamers, probably, I would say also, in that if a game is not ready to be released, just delay it. It's not a problem. To quote Shigeru Miyamoto of Nintendo, "A delayed game is eventually good, but a rushed game is forever bad." because once a game comes out that's been rushed, it's going to have that reputation forever. Whereas if you never delayed it, or if you never rushed it and instead delayed it, sure, you can have the reputation of maybe a game like Cyberpunk where it got delayed multiple times. But even with Cyberpunk, it got delayed so many times and eventually it came out in a buggy state. And now everyone's going to remember that game's launch as a result of that.
Yeah.
So it's something on both sides. You know, gamers, they want a game right when they get it announced, you know, but at the same time, all these big executives and even the developers, I'm sure, want to release the game as soon as they possibly can. But
because money
sometimes
talks.
it just doesn't work out. Yeah,
it doesn't.
Yeah, that is the case. Is money talks.
But then again, you know, to be fair to Iguana B, you know, it's like, you know, you guys took on a massive task. You're talking about a huge IP and franchise of King Kong, and to think that they even allowed that, that's totally insane. It just baffles me. We don't have the answers for it, and I'm sure a lot of you gamers tuning in are going, how the hell did they get away with this? Well, it's there forever, fam. But I guess bad publicity's good. After all, I mean, there's no such thing, right? As they say.
I guess so. Until their studio closes, just like the Gollum studio, then, you know, you're screwed.
You know, we'll just get an AI chatbot to, you know, write about their, you know, the distaste towards the gamers. But hey, listen, we want to thank you gamers for tuning in every Tuesday live at 10 a.m. Pacific Standard Time, because Rage Quit wouldn't be possible without you, fam. And while you're here, you might as well make sure you hit the like and subscribe button and the notification bell so you never miss a live show. And HenricK the Rex always cooking up great content on his YouTube channel, HenricK the Rex. Come on now, fam. So let him know what's good. What you got?
Yeah, so as Chris said, I do post on YouTube, but I also post on Instagram, Twitter, and TikTok. And what I do on the YouTube channel especially is I post every Friday a short about either a game that's in development or just a game that's out that I have a good time playing and I recommend. This week is a game that's in development. It's part of my In Development Soapbox series. So keep an eye out for that, because we're going to be looking at an indie game.
Yeah, he's not going to let you know now. You have to follow. You have to like. You have to subscribe. And you will know what's good. Trust me, you're going to love it, fam. And go ahead and check out the ChrisCollinsShow.com. I got a lot of exclusive interviews from a lot of cats from all across the globe, from film directors, music artists, you know, the list goes on and on and on. Your support would be totally awesome. And HenricK the Rex and I, we will see you next week live, fam. Peace.
Peace.